And yeah, just a chat today about anything really that you want to talk about. It's been a little while since I've been on live. I've also got some jammy Dodgers. I don't know if any of you are familiar with these, but it's one of my favourite cookies or biscuits of all time. It says, "No nasty stuff, we're jammy enough."
What does it mean, no nasty stuff?
No additives, no chemicals. Come and say hello, Michelle. Time.
I am here. Hello, everybody. How have you been?
Now we're still at Rick's, but Rick's actually he's on a call with somebody, so he might pop in and say hello.
Hello, Sean. Hello, playmate.
G'day, Sean. G'day, Sean, mate. Sean, do you like gammy Dodgers?
Gammy Dodgers, or
like gammy Dodgers? Do you like jammy Dodgers? They're one of my favourites. Look at these. Look at these.
Evening all, Lake District Bullet and Slim Jim.
Good evening all. Lovely little shortbread biscuits with jam in the centre, like the Queen of Hearts. These, I don't know why, this has always been one of my, look, these they look like 4, but they're actually 2. But these 2 have stuck together.
Oh. Yes, that's in the heat of the British winter.
Gorgeous. Get the kettle on, mate. Get the kettle on. Got a cup of tea. Got a cup of tea. I've also got tonight, I'm going to enjoy myself a bit of John Smith's Extra Smooth that Rick recommended to me. Haven't had John Smith's in a long time. So what does everyone think about this? This is one of those beers that's got a little dongle in the bottom. Of course, I don't drink much, as Ben knows. So it's all good. And I just want to say a belated happy birthday to Annika, my niece. Yes. Happy birthday to you, sweetheart.
Happy birthday, Annika.
And well done on passing, as she's 18.
She's 18, yes.
She's a big girl now. And she's passed a driving test as well.
Yes.
So,
well done.
Well done.
Yes, indeed, Steve. Ben does not, Steve does not drink.
Ben, you're in, mate. You're in. So, dip a jammy Dodger, Ben.
So Ben wants to know, also, Steve, why on earth are you still in the freezing cold UK? We're waiting for the snow, Ben. It hasn't got here yet.
Not for long now, Ben. Not for long. Oh, they are so good.
It says, leave. Hello, Monica. There is no snow, Ben. I know there isn't. Can I have one?
The beautiful UK. Come on, come in.
Thank you.
Let everyone see that you've stolen one of my jammy Dodgers.
Hello, Dwayne.
Good day, Dwayne. How are you, mate?
We did have snow. We had a few flurries. We've had a couple of little flurries, but nothing
A couple of little flurries.
Lots of snow up north, apparently.
Yes, there's snow coming in. What's been going on? Well, I've been hard editing. The computer's over here. If you sort of maybe look to the side, you can see my computer's over here. I've been hard editing.
You've been working hard.
Not so hard.
You started to work hard.
Hardish.
Life with Anna says, hey.
Hey, Anna. And I'm going to start putting up the John O'Groats to Land's End walking stuff very shortly. I think I might even start, I might even start on Monday. So how's about that? And my sister, I was talking to my sister today, and she said, when are you putting it up? I'm really looking forward to it. And I thought, well, if my sister's looking forward to it, maybe some other people are as well. So I had this sort of idea that I was going to really create something quite epic and do it cinematic and things, but the more I've looked at it, it's just such a big job. So I'm just going to edit like a normal vlog and just get it up there. Maybe later on we'll do something extra with it, but I'm quite liking what's coming up. We've got 3 episodes edited at the moment, starting from 2 episodes of just trying to get up to John O'Groats. And yeah, I'm wading my way through it. So be patient. Not be patient. Yeah, it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming.
If you start Monday, you've got to do it then, haven't you?
I've committed to you guys. I'm committing a lot of things today. We're going to talk about travel.
Yeah. Amy says hi. Hi, Amy.
Hey, Amy.
And Ben says, if it makes you feel better, Steve, it's winter here in Barbados as well. Oh dear.
Yeah,
he's done it again, and now I've got to talk. Well, we know it's really cold where you are, Ben, isn't it? I don't think so.
Why can't I nibble a jammy Dodger daintily?
Because you like to dunk, and then you don't want it to all disintegrate, so it's got to go straight in. I know. Yes, very cold, Ben. And Dwayne says, will you be able to go back to Australia?
Dwayne, at the moment, Australia is looking dodgy for us. We to go back to Australia, it's going to cost us close to 14,000 to 15,000 Australian dollars. I'm not willing to spend that much money, even though I love the country and I love to see my family. It's just too much money to spend on just a trip. And the other big issue we have is going back there. Once you're there, you're kind of locked in as well. We wouldn't be able to go anywhere without very good reasons. So not at the moment. Dear Australia, mad as a hatter. Well, the government are there. Mad as hatters, absolute nuts. But we're not going to let that stop us living our life. I mean, our life is basically about enjoying, not selfishly, but enjoying ourselves and being free to visit the world and taste the foods of around the world. And we're not going to let, and I will say again, this nonsense, I know some people get upset, blow your socks off. If you're upset about it, I don't really care. But we're not going to let this nonsense spoil. We're not going to kowtow to a system of belief. It's like I was thinking the other night about, if you have certain religious beliefs, you don't sort of hammer down on people because they haven't got the same belief system as you. And there's a lot of belief systems going around at the moment, and I don't want to sort of like hammer down on people for one belief and tell them they have to wear this and do this and not go out here and not go out there. So that's where I'm at the moment. My belief system is slightly different than others, and I'm happy for everybody else to do their own thing as they wish. But Michelle and I, we're living our lives. So we are going somewhere warm. We've been kindly at Rick's over Christmas time and the New Year, and Rick and I and Michelle, we get on so well. It's been an absolute ball. But that you've got to start living your life. You can't just put it on hold forever and ever and ever. Going back to Australia just has never been an option for us. We don't want to spend virtually a year's salary. To a lot of people, I mean, oh no, not a year, but to some countries it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend $15,000 just to fly one way to Australia for the two of us. It's just not going to happen. So we just have to bide our time on that. But
Steve Carter says, "Hi Steve and Michelle, hope you're both okay. Plenty of snow up north where I am."
Steve, where are you, man?
Yeah, where are you? And Amy says, "How are you both?"
Drop a John Smith. I'm good, Amy. How are you and Sally? Hope you're beautiful. Is that our Amy?
Our Amy, yes.
Yeah. Now this is a John Smith. For anyone from the US or hasn't, you've probably got these in the US, but they've got a little dongle in the bottom, and it's like a draft beer.
Listen.
So there's a little hiss, and then the dongle sort of turns this into what looks like a draft beer. So let's have a look at this and see if it goes the way I expect it to. I pour it on the side, but I actually like a bit of a head on the beer. So we should have a cloudy sort of draft looking beer. And then I'm going to get a head on there. I prefer a bit of a smooth head on top of the beer. So there you have it. That is, can you hear that? There's a dongle or a widget inside the can. So I've got a lovely smooth head of beer on top. Cheers, everybody. Happy 2021.
Chin chin.
I do not drink. This is, I always joke with Ben about it, but I mean, literally, it's been 4 or 5 days since I've had a beer, and this will probably be the only one I'll have this week. So, chin chin.
So Ben says, agreed, live your life, just travel, I did.
Oh, that's smooth. That's very smooth. That's very much like a draft. That's very nice, actually.
Good.
Not bad at all.
It's got a bit of a head on that. Amy says, me and Sally are fine, thank you, Steve and Michelle. And Dwayne says, Happy New Year, cheers.
Cheers, me dears. So, would you like to have a little guess? Who's in at the moment? Who's in? We've got 24, 25 people in on my side. Hit the thumbs up for Michelle, not for me, of course.
We've only got 10.
Ben, you're a clever so-and-so. We are actually, I'll just let take the pressure off. We are heading to Mexico.
Yes, I did skip your question, Ben. I was waiting for him to actually say it.
What was the question?
He says, when are you going to Mexico then, Stevie?
Cheeky monkey. We are going to Mexico, and we are going in the next 3, 4, 5 days. We're really looking forward to it. Mexico is one of my favorite countries in the world. We've been there before, and we've had a wonderful time last time. We didn't film it last time. We didn't share a great deal of the stuff because it was just at the time of our lives when we weren't doing a lot of filming.
We're more into it now. And yes, Ben, the flights are booked.
Oh, everything's booked.
Everything's booked.
Everything's
We're
booked.
all raring to go.
Everything's booked. We're going to miss Rick
Absolutely.
dearly. We're going to miss the UK and its beautiful sunny weather. Mind you, that sounds a bit facetious because one thing I'm not going to miss and the other thing I am going to miss.
Yes.
So we we will be going to Mexico. I won't say where at the moment. How about that? We'll keep that a little bit of a secret.
That's what Dwayne's just asked. Where in Mexico will you go?
Okay, we'll keep that a little bit under the hood until I get there, Dwayne.
Yes.
But we're going somewhere nice. And
Ben says you're obviously going to miss the rainy weather. Yes.
We are going to get some sun rays. Michelle and I have ordered ourselves. I've got a new bikini. It's quite beautiful, isn't it?
It's very nice.
Bikini,
Yes.
little two-piece.
Yes.
And whoops, did I go very loud there? Did I peak? We're going to be looking forward to getting in some sun and sharing some great food things. But in the meantime, I am also editing the great 2,000 kilometer walk videos, and I shall be putting those up, not in any particular schedule. I'm going to be putting up as and when I can during weekdays. I think that's what we decided, Michelle.
During the week, Monday to Friday, it could be 1, 2, 4, 5. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be quite a few. It could be not. It depends how well I get on with editing them and how well I'm able to continue editing them as we travel as well. So they're looking good. It's fun to look back at what we got up to, and I think a lot of you will enjoy it. I don't think it's going to get massive views in the initial sort of launching of the videos, but over time I think people might quite find them interesting. So I'm inspired to get them.
And then hopefully we'll put up some more up-to-date ones maybe at the weekend. Just
DJME says, can you fly? Yes, because we are Australian citizens. We can fly where we want to.
Well, they'll let us into, but yes, Australians can go to most places.
You can go pretty much to the 3 places in the world that will have us, and luckily one of them is the beautiful country of Mexico. We don't have any residency here. So we can't just stay indefinitely. We've got to make some options, and we've decided that we need to slowly start to make our way back to Australia in our own sweet way, which will be, whatever gateway eventually opens up, but we'll get back home at some point. I'm really looking forward to seeing the family and my children, our children. We want to, but needs must. We'll do it our way. And so traveling. The title of the video: traveling during a lockdown or a pandemic. It's going to be difficult in so much as, for me, I'm not a great. I don't have any real fear of this particular virus, so I don't mind too much if I catch it or not. I'm not too bothered. But what I am going to have to put up with, what Michelle I am going to have to, is the regulations that have come along, the liberties that have been taken away from people to do what they wish, and to travel as they wish, and to travel wearing what they wish to wear. So we're going to have to put up with that, and as you know, we will have to be cautious, and we will have to follow the regulations. It's not going to be a lot of fun being on a long flight. With masks and all the palaver that's involved, but we'll be cautious. Obviously, we're sensible. And like I say, I'm cautious when I fly anyway, because I don't want to catch a cold or the flu or COVID or any other of the numerous things. And invariably, when you actually are traveling, you do pick these things up. It's quite commonplace. Whenever Michelle and I have done big haul flights, you quite often end up catching some sort of virus on the flights. It's just the nature of flying, really. It might, if you're lucky, it's just a small cold or something. But yeah, so we'll have to. So the thing is, would you fly? Ask some questions. It'll make life easier if I've got some questions to answer.
Now, while waiting for the questions to come in, Ben says, I'm moving into permanent accommodation at the end of this month. Excited. I'm now officially a resident in Barbados.
Well done, Ben. Yes. We'll pop over and see you maybe sometime, mate. We're not a long way away once we're in Mexico. Which would be fun, wouldn't it? Anybody else got any plans or any questions they want to ask me about, how you I mean, Michelle and I are pretty savvy travelers. For example, we don't particularly like to be inconvenienced by the process of traveling, even though
We don't.
it's a pain in the backside. So, for example, our flight will be, and this is just general advice about flying. Our flight will be a morning flight, about 10 o'clock in the morning, and rather than actually get up at the crack of dawn, what we tend to do is stay in an inexpensive hotel near the airport. So a good thing to do, and I would advise a lot of you if you're flying, even if you're flying from home, and it's not a bad thing to do, is to just go up to the airport. You'll often find there's holiday inns, there's sort of airport hotels that you can stay in for anything at this time of the year. It can be anything from sort of £20 to £30 a night. You can stay in a hotel, and then you can get up at a leisurely hour in the morning, and usually walk to the airport from where you are, and jump on the plane at a regular time. The alternative is you get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, start packing up, travel, connections, all the way up to your airport, and then you end up absolutely exhausted, and the journey becomes a lot longer than it.
And stressing how you're going to get there in time, is there going to be a hold up and all that sort of thing. But,
so that's generally the way we tend to travel, or we go for evening flights where we know we can go there at our own leisurely rate. This one's a morning flight, so we're going to actually stop in a hotel right next, a walking distance to the actual airport, or within the airport complex itself, and then we'll just rock up. And it's not expensive. It's barely the cost of a bus journey up to the airport. So that is our plan.
Gracie Kitty says Mexico, yay, mojitos and spicy food. Yahoo! Take your headphones for the flight.
Yes, I use my noise cancelling headphones. I've got them here. Just uncable them up because I've been doing some editing. So I have some nice sort of noise cancelling headphones that I pop on my ears, and these things work really well. So they'll block out any sort of any obnoxious noises you might hear on a plane. We're expecting the plane to be fairly empty, though we don't know for sure. So I thought that when I flew in Turkey that time, when they said they were putting only people in alternate seats when we were in Turkey, and we got on there and everybody was just sort of crammed into their seats like this, and there was no social distancing whatsoever.
And the one when we flew into the UK, that was the same.
And the same when we flew to the UK. I just, it's kind of swimming ahead of a tsunami at the moment. The nonsense that's going on in the world, you can't escape it. It's we've given the running of our countries to school children, and unfortunately they're proving to be as inadequate as ever. So we're kind of just trying to stay ahead, but also we're trying not to give it a lot of thought. I've noticed recently some people are getting quite malicious and quite unpleasant to each other about this. We noticed it on the walk as well, that a lot of people are getting, I don't know, I just want to say to people, just live and let live, hey? Just live and let live. Just because people don't have the same opinion of you, it doesn't mean that they're any, for example, if you want to actually isolate and never leave your home and sit there with a mask on every time you go out and wash your vegetables and wash your bags and things, that's fine, right? Literally, people who are, of my opinion, cannot affect you. You've built your walls up and you're living your life accordingly. But that doesn't mean just because that somebody doesn't have your religion that you should be able to say to them, this is the way you should do things. We will tolerate you, you must tolerate us.
Absolutely. So Lena, Eliphas, Cal the Gardener and Gunlove all say hi.
Gordon, hi. Eleanor, who? And
Cal the Gardener.
Cal.
And
G'day, mate.
Gordon, yes. And Mary Cad said, just curious, what is it about Mexico that you like, since you said it's one of your favourite countries to visit?
I think the who asked that?
Mary Cad.
Mary, I think one of the things I love about Mexico is the people and the sort of the way you've got to really say the people is one of the first things, because we met such lovely people. I've still got good friends in Mexico that we'd like to actually go and visit when we're there. I think the joie de vivre, the way of life, the Mexican people have a real. I don't know if you've ever been to Mexico City before, and you walk out on the street and you see the couples sort of dancing in the street and going to the party. It's just there's a way of life that the Mexicans have that is not very apparent in Anglo-sized countries. You get a sort of there's a freedom of people's emotions that is quite nice. That's one of the things I like. The food, of course, the mole, the tacos, particularly the mole and the masa flour. I've done videos on this on my channel. I've shown you how to make mole. I've shown you how to make homemade nixtamalized masa flour. So the food, absolutely. The regional variations. I never got to have a chili en nogada, which was I think from Pueblo. Forgive me, Mexican friends. So there was a chili en nogada, which is actually like a Mexican dish that's available in Independence Day, and it's colours of the Mexican flags. There's so many great foods. The weather, what's not to like? I love the fact that Mexico it rises high up into the altitude of most of the Mexican cities is quite high when it gets away from the coast, so you get much cooler weather. So you can be in Mexico City, which is quite a high altitude. Anyone want to Google that for me and write down the altitude of Mexico City? So it's cooler weather even in the summer months, so you can get away from the heat of the seas. What else can I say? I mean, you've got the Caribbean waters on the east coast. On the west coast, you've got the Atlantic or Pacific
I think,
waters.
Just the colours,
just the colours.
Everything. Yeah.
The people, though,
Yeah.
I think really it's the people. It's every country has its ace holes. You know, it has everybody has it's bad people. The only people I really met when we were in Mexico that really gave me any sort of like grievance were often people that weren't from Mexico.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
So where's the Mexicans? Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
So Ben asked, how long is the flight to Mexico? Well, it's about 10.5 to 11 hours, Ben.
I'm glad Michelle knows. I haven't got a clue. I don't worry. I don't worry about those things, Ben. It's a flight, they're all terrible. I don't like flying. I don't have any fear of flying in itself, but I find the whole flying process just a bit niggly, and so I don't give it a lot of thought. It's a flight. I guessed it was about 8-9 hours. Michelle's telling me it's about 10. No, anything between sort of 7 hours and
Over
12
7,
hours. Yeah, there's not much difference. It doesn't make a lot of difference between sort of 9 and 12 hours. Literally, it's one extra movie maybe and possibly another meal that's served. Not looking forward to the flight particularly, but. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
So Mary Cad says, I am of Mexican heritage, but born and raised in California. I love chicken mole. Ole.
Ole mole, yes. Well, I'm fascinated by the different moles from the different regions. I've made my own mole on my YouTube channel. I've got a sort of like a thing about how mole is made, but really you don't get the full flavors until you get to Mexico and see all the different.
Maybe we'll get to see someone making it.
Yeah, I'd like to. Well, I've seen people make it
No, I
in the
mean
markets.
to film,
It would be
to
nice
film
to
it.
film it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see the chili. I'd like to see the mole negro in the. We were in Oaxaca, where the moles are just amazing in Oaxaca. I'm sure hopefully we'll have time to get there again.
Yeah.
Lots of big questions going up.
Yeah, Gordon says, had some nasi goreng from Lidl's, was nice, probably nothing as good as you guys had, lol.
Gordon, check out my nasi goreng recipe where the guy was making it I actually filmed a cook. I won't say a chef, but he was a chef. He was a cook in Indonesia making the nasi goreng.
Yeah, delicious.
He was in a warung in a small Indonesian restaurant, and he makes it. And I explain the ingredients as he's putting it in. So take a look at it. It's one of the most simple foods.
Watched it made.
So if you follow that recipe, that's authentic. That's cool nasi goreng.
So Steve Carter said, it's the government's way of controlling us, make us all fight amongst ourselves so we don't question their mistakes.
There's something going wrong in the world at the moment. There's something going wrong. Division is the new sort of peace, it seems. I've heard people make comments. There was somebody on one of Rick's videos the other day and made some pathetically immature comment, and you kind of. And it doesn't bother me. I'm fairly thick-skinned. It doesn't bother me. But some people they feel offended by what people will say, and but it wasn't. It's not what's said. It's the maturity of what's said. It's like, oh my lord, how on earth did something this simple evolve into a human being? It's kind of, so that's the thing. It's this division. It's this sort of like aggression. This sort of thing that's going on. It's not good. It's not healthy. I've said before, we do need change, peaceful change, peaceful change. I'll repeat it again. It's got to be peaceful. The regimes, what we have at the moment in Australia, here in UK and many other countries around the world, is just it's rot that's allowed to just fester over a long time, and it's really culminated in this fiasco, this sort of, if you remember the clown cars that used to drive in the circus, the doors dropped off and the wheels dropped off and the clown got out with a little thing. We got these people are running our country. And it was funny the first time, but I've seen the doors drop off too many times now. It's time for change. It is time for change.
So Sue John says, sorry I'm late. Hi, you three.
So it's just me and Michelle today. Rick's on a call with he's doing something with some mates. He will probably pop down and say hello, but I'm not promising.
He's busy. And Slim Jim says, hi Steve and Michelle, I'm 50 years old in March and was planning a 4-month trip to the USA and Canada, then on to Alaska with my wife with a few train journeys, etc. But I've shelved it for the time being.
Jim, don't shelve it just yet. I mean, where are you? Are you in the UK, Australia? Anyway.
Well, it's probably difficult to get into the US.
Yeah, but by March. I mean, just don't shelve things just yet. Swim against the current a little bit. You can't allow. We lost almost all of 2020. I look back at it, and Michelle did a great deal of stuff in 2020, and I don't wish. We're not saying it was. It happened to us rather than was planned.
Yeah, we actually had some plans for that year, which we don't always have. But
very different plans to what happened.
We did other things.
But what I'm saying is make those plans. You can't allow 2021 to be dictated to by a clown in a clown's car. You can't. You have to start taking responsibility. You don't. There seems to be an agenda out there to try and control us completely. They want us to take this and wear this and do that. We've lived outside of that system so long now, it distresses me somewhat to be pulled into it unnecessarily. So we're getting on and doing what we have to do, and if you can do it, Alaska sounds great. I mean,
Jim's in Kent, UK.
Yeah. Just do it, Jim. There's no reason why you shouldn't. And I'll tell you what actually is really funny. If you stop watching the television, if you stop watching the Idiot Box, this thing here, if you stop watching the Idiot Box, you will find that the world's not so bad and people are far more open and friendly than you might think. And yes, unfortunately, that thing does tend to be responsible for a great deal of what we're seeing in the world at the moment. So I'm going to have another Grammy job.
Grammy Jojo. And Mona says, good morning, darling duo. How are you both?
How are you?
And are you still with charming Rick? Oops.
We are. Ricky.
And then
Ricky.
Cal the Gardener says, will you be able to do a diary vlog to show us what it's like to travel during COVID time?
Maybe. But I've just got to stop talking for a moment.
Yeah, look, see, he won't just nibble it. It's got to all go in because he's dunked it into his tea. And he doesn't want it to drop back into the tea. That's the problem. So Cheap Shot Photography says, hi, Steve, Michelle and Rick. Hi, Tim. Rick's upstairs. He's busy.
Hello, mate. Tea's gone cold. I wonder why.
Yes.
I got out of bed at all.
Well, that's no good for dunking, is it? You can't dunk in a cold cup of tea.
My...
You'll have to get something else now.
Okay. You're right, Michelle. Here's a biscuit that doesn't need dunking.
Oh, Jaffa cakes.
Jaffa cakes. Luckily, Michelle.
Cal the Gardener says, in one, yes.
Usually I go, Cal, I'm being polite. Normally I put 2 of those in one. Who? Oh, Kent, Cal. Everyone knows what these are to you in the UK. Jaffa cakes. Ooh. Now I'm really lucky because Michelle doesn't like Jaffa cakes.
I mean, I'll eat them if that's all that's going and I really want something nice, but yeah, there's other things. Steve Carter says, dunk it in the John Smiths.
So Jaffa cake is like a little sponge biscuit, very soft. It's not hard at all. You can basically just crumble this thing up. So it's a little sponge cake with a little bit of orange or tangerine flavored jam, and then it's covered in a dark chocolate.
Calvin says, too right, mate, Jaffas are quite nice once they've been in the fridge. See his face then. In the fridge.
Jaffa cake.
Cheap Shop Photography says, sorry I'm late, what did I miss? And Gordon says, what's your plans for 2021? So,
our plans for 2021 don't extend much past next week. We are going to head to Mexico. We are going to start. We are going to work on editing our Land's End to John O'Groats to Land's End videos and putting those up. And we're planning on just having as much smiles as possible, really, and trying to conquer the delusion that we're living under at the moment, that everybody's free to live their lives. We're trying to, if that makes sense. Yeah, we're trying to just get on and do what we want to do, and I think it's important for everybody to do that. There is going to come a time. Let's not get too political. No. It's boring. No. Cheers.
So Cheap Shop Photography said the difference between a biscuit and a cake.
A Jaffa cake. It's like a cookie for my American friends, but like there is something in America a little bit like this, like a Twinkie base, but a slightly sweet caramelized base with a beautiful, like a tart orangey filling. So if I could, yeah, I can do it. Right. Okay, so I've broken that open. If you have a look inside here, I'm going to get a bit messy now. But inside, inside. There's a slab of Jello. It's like a tangerine orangey piece of Jello, and then this piece of soft.
Now he's got to eat it.
Sponge cake, which actually is quite plain and not that good until you add this. And it
all goes together and works well.
It's just good.
So Sue John says, my godmother lives in Melbourne. She says it's fine there. My daughter is in San Fran. She said if you know where to go, but a little scary as she has a little one.
You know, I was talking to the family in Melbourne just now, and everyone says it's good. They're getting on life. They're visiting their friends. They're getting on. They have been forced to wear masks in the supermarkets. Most people would rather not, but it's the rules, and with the threat of imprisonment if you don't do as you're told. Everyone's doing as they're told, but generally, yeah, things are good. Yeah. And we would go there in a flinch if they weren't forcing people. I mean, the reason they're doing so well over there is because they basically shut everything down. Yeah, which is, arguably a lot of people say that's a great thing. People are still catching colds and still catching the flu and still, going to hospital with mumps and the measles and everything else. So, that on that side of things, nothing's really changed, but except for some of the restrictions to travel.
So Arthur says, hi there, so happy I didn't miss the whole stream.
No worries, Arthur. Good day and welcome.
Cheap Shop Photography says, biscuit is made with dry ingredients and a cake with wet ingredients. And Gracie Kitty says, decadent when you broke up the Jaffa cake. And Amy says, I've never tried a Jaffa cake.
Oh, Amy.
You could have a Jaffa cake. They're all right. I don't particularly love them. So
Michelle doesn't like them. I got actually my favourite, and this is Margot and Malcolm. Mm-hmm. I got to if they do look. If you're watching at all, Margot, I know you must have been very cunning, because Margaret actually bought us a lovely little Christmas present of a mixture of some of treats, and she was so spot on to Michelle and I's favourites. She even bought me a box of Maltesers.
I bought ginger nuts, which I love. I've eaten those. I love dunked in coffee.
Which are like Whoppers, but they taste nice. Unlike Whoppers, which taste like sort of penny wax candles. Yeah, Michelle would probably agree with you there, Sue.
Gordon says a pint of milk and a packet of Jaffas.
Pint of milk. Do you know, Gordon?
Yeah, they do taste a bit stale. I mean, I say, Sue, I would eat them if that was all there was, but Steve loves them so much, I don't, so I don't eat them.
Food is about memories, isn't it? And Jaffa cakes were, when I went away on a school trip, my mum would give me a packet of Jaffa cakes to take with me when I was a small boy. And so to me, a Jaffa cake is really a memory. I think it like everything in life, if it makes you feel good, if it brings back good memories, and it doesn't, when I eat a Jaffa cake, it doesn't remind me of school trips, but if I was probably to nail as to why I like Jaffa cakes so much, it's probably because they were something good from my childhood.
Cal the gardener says they made pineapple version of Jaffa's, not as good.
No, you see, around the world they do many different versions of Jaffa cakes with raspberry flavour. There's all sorts of fancy flavours they have in different countries. None of them are as good as a regular Jaffa cake, and yet probably all of them are just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
But they don't mean anything to me.
Right.
Pineapple Jaffa cake doesn't mean anything to me. But I tell you what's odd. Okay, here's the psychology of food for you. 101 psychology. I don't like the sponge. It's if I eat that sponge on its own, I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate. I don't even like a chocolate orange. I can take or leave. If somebody offered me a chocolate orange, wouldn't particularly. So the combination of chocolate and orange. Don't really like the dark chocolate on its own. I love the citrus orange in the centre. So nothing about this biscuit adds up to me. It doesn't make any sense at all. But I think it's a combination of the citrus that I do like and the memories that come with it.
So Hallie's House 13 says, can't stand chocolate orange, but love a Jaffa. Katie 3 says, have you had the cranberry and orange flavoured Jaffa cakes? I didn't think much of those. The M&S version of Jaffa cakes are nice.
I saw in Marks and Spencer's and in it was Marks and Spencer's. I saw in Marks and Spencer's loads of different flavours, and I bought one, and I just didn't think they were
as good.
They weren't good.
So Arthur says, raspberry flavour.
Yeah.
They were okay again, but just they weren't Jaffa cakes for you, were they?
No.
And Michael DiCaprio says, difference between a biscuit and a cake, when they go stale, a cake goes hard and a biscuit goes soft.
Well, that's a good point.
Yes.
Michael, was it?
Yes, Michael.
Good point. You're right, actually. I mean, yeah, you're right.
Now, Cheap Shot Photography says, I've had the M&S ones, very nice.
I've only had one, Tim. I've only had one, and that was
one packet.
Yeah, one packet. Michelle's just qualifying that. I can't remember which flavour it was. I just remember thinking, I think it was lemon. I think it was a lemon.
Like lemon, do you?
Because I thought, lemon would be nice, and they were all right. They were okay, but I haven't tried them all. But if Marks and Spencers are watching, they want to sponsor me on a massive sort of marathon eating Jaffa cake session, I'd probably go for it.
So Cal the Gardener says, do you think you'll return to the UK for a trip sometime in the future? Got to catch your pal Rick again down the line.
Of course, yes. I think it would be foolish and probably impractical for us to not come to the UK at some point, and it would be great to see our friends back here in the UK, particularly Rick, of course. But we've no plans. We have nothing really past the week after next planned. So it's the way we've travelled for 6 years now. 6 years, isn't it? This February.
Goodlove says Lidl's do a cheap version, very nice. And Sue John says, I like digestives, also with cheese.
I love digestives, Sue John. I love biscuits, full stop. And that's why I almost never buy biscuits, because I can't stop eating them, and I become overweight very quickly. I've got I'm a biscuit holic. So when we're settled and at home, Michelle and I go for a little stage of buying every biscuit in the supermarket, and then I say no more,
No more.
and we don't even keep them in the house. Digestives for me, they are just a packet of digestives. Chocolate digestives are my favourite. The digestives with the caramel topping on them. They used to do them in Australia. Here they do them and they give them a special name. I think it's called a VIB, a VIB biscuit, which is covered in, so it's a digestive biscuit covered in crispy hard caramel, and then milk chocolate over the top. Oh, that is so good. I mean, I could eat those until I was as broad as this room.
Tim says 2 words: hobnobs. Yeah, hobnobs
Everything.
are good, yeah.
Everything. Chocolate hobnobs, double delicious.
So Mona says, beautifully said, Steve. Food and memories are enjoyable together.
Yeah, food and memories. We've talked about this so much over the years, and I think that's why I'm quite looking forward to Mexico. Is because even already there's Mexican food brings a lot of happy memories for me when we go and have what is the Mexican drink that we love? Not elote. Is it elote? No. Itole? Yeah, Itole.
Yes.
Anyway, so like a chompanada, like a chocolate, like a thick cornmeal massa-based hot chocolate drink. Usually,
Atole.
Atole, but I actually love the plain peanut one, like an Ernest, not like a salted peanut, but just like raw peanut flavored. I used to have that in a market over in Porto Escondido, and
That was very good.
so good. And they do all different flavors. It's delicious. I'm sure it's not good. I must check out the calories for it. I'm sure
Everyone's
it's not good.
talking about biscuits. There is
If you haven't had Atole, I think I've got a recipe on my channel, but you do need to get good masa flour. It has to be good masa. Very good.
So everybody's talking about biscuits. There is a question further up, which I'll get back to. But Calvin Gardner says you need to try the chocolate digestive nibbles.
I need to try everything,
Katie
biscuit,
Tree
but
says,
I'm not going to.
Personally, I like a really nice shortbread biscuit.
Anybody from America in? Anybody from the US? I'm sure there are. I think I've probably already seen some Americans in.
Gunnar says Tunnock's tea cakes. Now you're talking. Slim Jim
Tunnock's
says
tea cakes are great, aren't they? There's a lot. The Scots. Is Tunnock's tea cakes Scottish? It must be, right? Love Tunnock's tea cakes. What was the other one that we had up in Scotland that was really good?
Yeah.
Scots have got some great biscuits. It's the wafers, the caramel wafers with that sort of red and silver packaging. Incredibly good. Incredibly good. Puts a smile on your face, that sort of stuff, but you can't eat it too often.
Slim Jim says 3 words: chocolate hobnobs.
Chocolate hobnobs.
And Steve Carter
That's
says
2 words really, because I think hobnob's 1 word.
well, they're doing it as 2 words. And Steve Carter says plain digestives with Nutella.
Yeah, I don't need, my biscuits don't need anything on them. Chocolate, yes, I'd rather have a chocolate digestive than a digestive with Nutella on it, because I prefer their chocolate than their. Anyone from the US?
Yeah, so Arthur Larson says, yes, I'm in Los Angeles working right now. And Mary Cad says, me too, Los Angeles here.
Not anything, these aren't from America, but I used to get these in America. These are chocolate coated pretzels, and I think you can buy them in the Whole Foods and so many of the stores in America do this. This is where the US was where Michelle and I fell in love with this particular, and this is heaven. This is a salty pretzel that's been dipped in milk chocolate. Oh, God. I'm doing this really just because I'm trying to do this for you. It's not for me, trust me. Chocolate covered pretzels. Trader Joe's, I think, had them.
A lot of good places.
So well done, America, for
They're my favourite.
Well, these are Michelle's favourite. Well done, America, for probably didn't invent it. It probably comes from where pretzels come from, Germany, do they? But no, I think this is an American, and we give this one to the Americans. So, of course, these. You can buy them here in the US in these tiny little bags. They haven't got about 20 pretzels in. In the US, you can supersize them. So you've got little salted, toasty pretzels covered in salt and then dipped in milk chocolate.
So Arthur Larson says, oh yes, my home is Pennsylvania, Lancaster country, PA Dutch country is the pretzel HQ of America. Rastrum says, try pretzel dipped in peanut butter and chocolate. Arthur says, Hershey's and pretzels.
That works. And pretzels in peanut butter actually does work.
And Mona says, lol, thank you, Steve, for your sacrifice in testing biscuits for us.
Mona, it's hard for me to do, as you can probably imagine, but for you, my dear, I would do anything.
So Charlie's girl said, I'm in the USA, lived in Oz and the UK. And she also, I think it was her, that was the question was up here. Forgotten it. Yes, Charlie Girl 12 says, when was the last time you were in Oz?
We were in Australia, was it in January or was it in October?
It was the end of October. We went to India, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that was
some time ago. So yes, it was
2019.
2019. We went from India to Dubai to Turkey, and then in February we arrived in Turkey and we got locked into Turkey for 5 months. Everyone's heard this story over and over again. It's almost we got there locked in Turkey for 5 months, then we've got locked outside the Australia for 3 months, and now we're just waiting and biding our time. We'll get back home. We had an urgency. We wanted to be back for Christmas. Christmas was stolen from it. No, it wasn't. That sounds terrible. It wasn't, because we had a great time here with Rick.
No, our original plan was to be back home in Australia for Christmas. It didn't pan out, so we had a great Christmas here instead, didn't we?
So, chocolate covered pretzels. Highly recommend them. I'll put them over there.
So Charlie Bill 12 says, make white chocolate covered pretzels with sprinkles at Christmas.
Yeah, with sprinkles. Okay.
Arthur says, I see pretzels from Pennsylvania in stores all over the world. Cheap Shot Photography says, you make the testing look easy, Steve.
Tim, I've done this sort of, I've sacrificed in this manner for some time now. And sacrifice to me, it's like everything in life. The more you do it, the better you get at doing it. So although this is quite a hard thing to do, to eat this chocolate, salted chocolate pretzel, I do make it look easy. I know that. I know. I'm sorry, Michelle, you might laugh.
I know it's really hard for you.
No, but it's
a big sacrifice.
No, that I make it look so easy.
Oh yes, that you make it look so easy. So Cal the Gardener says, will you do another couple of lives with Rick before heading to Mexico? Hope so. The dream team.
Cal, we'll definitely do a live with Rick before we go.
Buenos Dias Imagery. Hey, you're all good to see you doing well and having a great snack.
Buenos Dias?
Yeah, Imagery.
Oh!
Keep changing your name or having different channels.
Pablo. Is that Pablo?
It is.
Tell me, am I right? Because I can't read here, Pablo, if it is.
So Slim Jim said, at Christmas I made Steve's recipe for sweet short crust mince pies. That was brill. Hopefully other remaining leftover mince will mature in the jar for this Christmas. We used all ours up, didn't we?
What?
Mince meat.
Oh, we did. We used all the mince meat. Would you get me a napkin?
I can get you a napkin.
Because the combination of there he is, Buenos Dias. Check out my friend Pablo. What a guy. What a wonderful guy. Met Pablo, how long ago is it now, Pablo? Must be 3 years.
No, more than that.
Is it more than 3
years?
Yeah,
we're talking 5, nearly, I reckon 6.
No.
5 years.
No.
5 years. No.
Anyway, check out his channel. He's developed it into quite the photography channel, and he's got he's using some really beautiful photography, heaps and heaps of stuff. Lovely guy. And but Bria, don't make me get. Is your daughter still doing the YouTube as well? I must check.
So Cheap Shot Photography says, when are you set to leave for Mexico?
We're leaving next week. So okay, I'm gonna get rid of this last.
See, Pablo says, wow, yeah, more than that. It's been years since we met at VidCon.
Is it?
I reckon it must be 5 years.
Oh, that makes me feel so old.
Mona says, hashtag the dream team, hashtag Steve, Michelle, Rick.
Hashtag. Pablo, do you remember we were walking? We were in. Michelle and I were in our first time in Los Angeles. We're heading down to. We're checking out the outside of the VidCon venue there. In where was I can't remember where the VidCon venue is. We're outside the hotel. We're walking down that thing, and we met you and your lovely daughter vlogging, and we were vlogging.
It was just great.
It's meant to be, man.
He says she's graduated from local university with a film degree and is now pursuing directing. So she's laid off her YouTube channel. Thanks so much for asking.
Man,
well, that's great.
Such a lovely girl, and I suspect now she's probably she's probably a fully grown independent young woman. I hate me calling her a young girl. She was barely a girl when we met you. But yeah, good luck to her, man. Good luck to her.
See, it's all the good people we meet when we travel. That's what makes traveling such fun.
That's what makes.
It is visiting the countries, but it's the people of the countries, isn't it? That we go to.
I don't know if Jaime from Mexico will drop in. He doesn't. He won't be watching this live, I don't think. But Jaime, we're coming to see you, man. We're coming to see you. Lots of friends to see back in Mexico. Lots of new friends to meet. We're not far from America. If we can get across there and say hello, we'll certainly be doing so. Slowly.
Anaheim Convention Center was the location. Thank you. I know. We know it once you tell us. We're just not very good at remembering.
Pablo got head like a sieve. You're lucky I could remember your name, mate, because I've got this terrible dyslexia sort of thing going on sometimes as well, where I sort of mix things up and I'd end up calling you sort of Peter or something. But
we get there in the end.
I do get there in the end.
He says, I'll have to post a link to the video of when we met, and that will also give us the exact date as well.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Put it in the in the comments here so we can check it out.
Yeah, you might have to sort of do something so
I'm
it doesn't come up as a link.
4 years. If it's longer than 4 years, I shall be very, very annoyed.
Shall I look it up?
Race, Pablo. Race. Michelle's going to put our video up of us meeting. You can put your video up of us meeting. I love watching your daily vlogs all the time, man. It was such a lot of fun, and I've been watching on and off. I don't watch all the time. I don't have the time, with the big walk we did to Land's End, John O'Groats to Land's End, and all that. But I have been sort of keeping up with your photography stuff you've been doing as well. So good stuff, man.
I think it might be this one, but I'm not sure.
Michelle's going to be
2016.
2016, so I was wrong. 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. 4.5 years, we were both right. Because it would have been August time, was it?
Yes, wasn't it? It was around that time. I don't get when I haven't got that exact date there. But,
how time flies.
Absolutely.
Mind you, a whole year just went past without, in complete lockdown, didn't it, virtually? I mean, we're just about to have another year stolen off of us, so we're not going to let that happen. Michelle's the winner. Steve for the win. Oh, it looks like I posted it there, doesn't it?
So Cal the Gardener says, what's your travelling tips? Sorry, I have loads of questions tonight.
Cal, ask away. My travelling tips are... Travelling it can be quite stressful, so try and make it wherever you can, try and make it as enjoyable as possible. I always think if you can go somewhere on foot, go on foot. If you can't go on foot, go by bicycle. If you can't go by bicycle, go by motorbike. And if you can't go by motorbike, reluctantly take the train. No, I enjoy trains.
Yeah,
so maybe actually I might have to move the train up 2 points. Least favourite way of travelling anywhere is flying, and that's odd for me because I used to love flying, but I've flown so much over the years I find it a bit tedious, and that could be just a psychological thing. Tips on flying also is tips on travel also is when you go travelling. Michelle and I learnt very early on with our children when we travel is travel as light as possible. Now, a lot of people say, oh yeah, that's the old cliche, travel as light as possible. But we used to set off on a journey without the stuff we needed. so that we only bought the things we needed en route, and that. So if you think that you need 5 t-shirts, take 2.
Absolutely.
If you think that you need 7 pairs of underwear, take 2. If you think you need 4 pairs of shoes, take 1. It's kind of, you'll find that you can enjoy your traveling a great deal more if you've got less stuff to drag around with you.
And if you need another
And if you
t-shirt, buy
need a
one.
t-shirt, you can go and get that one that sort of says, I love Mexico, or sort of, welcome to Thailand. And you can get that stuff, and you don't end up sort of taking stuff back with you that you never put on. And you've got to carry that stuff,
And it's easy, you just rinse it out at night in the wherever you're staying. If you've got aircon, it dries in the aircon. If you need heat, it dries in the heat.
Yeah, hopefully, unless you're going somewhere really cold and damp, in which case take loads of clothes. Or no, don't change so
Don't
often.
change.
But so take very little with you, because also don't necessarily. Another thing we used to do and still do. Practice quite a lot is, say you're going to, let's say for example, you're going to Portugal on holiday, and you've got 2 weeks. So you decide to go to the Algarve, let's say for 2 weeks on holiday, and you find yourself a little resort, and you think that's great. I can tell you now, 2 weeks in a resort can get boring as bat poo. So if you've got 2 weeks, you're going to Portugal, pick at least two different venues to stay at. Michelle and I would even possibly pick 3, but pick 2 venues. So don't just go, you've taken the flight over there, change up the venues, do 1 week in one hotel complex and move to another complex, even if it's in the same town but just a block or so up the road. It really spices up the holiday, really does. We've been to places when we were younger. We'd go to places like Malaysia, and we'd always sort of try to stay in 2 different resorts. And when you move from one resort to the second resort, it's almost like a second holiday. Trust me, it's the most fun thing to do. And it means that you come back off a 2-week holiday or a 10-day holiday. This is 10 days, 5 days and 5 days, 2 different resorts. It means that you come away from there feeling like you've had a real break. 10 days in one resort can get really tiresome, in my opinion anyway. The first sort of 5 days can be fun. 6 days it starts to get same breakfast, same room, same views and things like that. So that's one other tip. Any other tips, Michelle, you'd like to add to that?
I think you've covered most of the tips there.
Yeah, I mean,
if we think of any more, we'll definitely
if
share
you
them.
know scenarios that make you stressed, if you say, like every year we go on holiday and I take my mother-in-law along with me and we always fight and argue and this, that and the other, don't go with your mother-in-law. Just don't. Remove yourself from environments that make you stressed as well, because holidays are about recharging, right? Cheers.
Sue John says, what's the weather in Mexico when you get there? Beautiful.
It's going to be nice, Sue John, I hope. It'll be probably around about 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 degrees Celsius, somewhere around there, maybe a little hotter. It's going to be, the days are longer than we're having here at the moment, and it's going to gradually be getting warmer and warmer, and we'll decide if we have to stay there longer than we anticipate, we'll maybe move to somewhere where it's a bit cooler.
So Sin Jim says, me and my wife have been inspired to do the walk you did this year, but no rough camping for us. I think B&B every day.
B&B every day would be a lot. Please, if you do it, let me know, because if we can inspire anyone to do that walk, I'd love to know that if anyone actually does it, it would be great to hear.
The videos will be coming out starting Monday.
Starting Monday, there's.
Pressure's on, Steve.
I'm going for this. It'll be a bit sketchy because I'm editing as we go. Rick and I and Michelle, we've been quite busy with sort of doing the live streams and the Christmas and all the other things, and also planning what we're doing. So I haven't done as much editing as I should have done, but I am getting into it. So there we go.
So Mona says, great tips. And Arthur says it's 84 in Los Angeles today.
84, beautiful.
So I think probably Mexico is going to be similar temperatures to LA, sort of at the moment.
Depends where you go. I mean, I said that's quite warm in Los Angeles. That seems that must be South Los Angeles, I guess, because I would have thought that's pretty warm, huh?
28.8, sort of
getting
29.
Is San Diego in? Oh no, that's California. Los Angeles is Los Angeles. Sorry, I'm getting my states and cities. Really, that's nice. Oh, then we'll come to Los Angeles.
So Arthur says, really looking forward to seeing some place where I can actually get to right now. So that's Arthur's in.
Arthur Loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cal the Gardener says, have you ever done trips by yourself, maybe in your younger days? If so, what's that like? I'm 22, single, and thinking about it. Thanks.
Yes, I have, and it's the same as travelling with someone that you are very in synergy with. You know, Michelle and I, we travel like one in a way, like sort of there, like fish in a school of fish. It's different for everybody, you know. The travelling is different for everybody. I really enjoyed travelling, and
The thing is, if you're single and young and you're thinking about it, just do it.
Yeah,
you might
just
not like
do
it, then you don't have to do any more of it. But if you enjoy it, then you'll
keep an
enjoy
open
it.
mind. Don't read up too much. Well, look, if
See, we've travelled a lot where we didn't have access to all of the internet and being able to research it. And we've always said, because we do a lot of research sometimes now.
Yeah.
And probably a bit
too much research can make.
And we wondered how we managed it before, but we just used to turn up in places and just deal with it. And Arthur says single and old is fun too.
Single and old is fun too. That's true.
Pablo says it started warming up last night here in Cali, Southern California.
Beautiful. Well, there's chances are that we're going to start to go into the warmer weather even in Mexico. So we might. There's quite a few places I'd like to visit in Mexico. So I won't say too much because I don't want to put up expectations and then get to nowhere. We might end up just arriving in Mexico and flying straight off to Australia if scenarios change. We don't know. There are no plans.
Sue John started to type and then she obviously pressed enter, but then she said, sorry, cat on my lap. So the cat pressed enter. She said, are we coming with you to Mexico?
I hope so, Sue John.
Yes. We hope to share what we're doing.
I'm looking forward to filming some more of the food this time when I get to Mexico. So I'm probably going to take you out and show you around some of Mexico and teach us together a little bit more about Mexican food. Because when I was there last time, we spent quite a bit of time in Mexico City. We spent quite a bit of time in San Miguel de Allende. We also were in Oaxaca.
We were still trying to produce video recipes.
And we were stuck editing videos from the previous trip that we'd been on, and we never got round to actually doing any real video creation in Mexico, which was a anyway, we'll talk about that another time. The trip was great, but the YouTube experience was not so good.
You guys didn't get to see it with us.
No.
But you will this time, hopefully.
Yeah, you will. Was that the same year that we met Pablo?
Yes, we went there after.
Pablo, I was sick when I arrived in America then, wasn't I? Because I got in Cambodia, that's where I got quite poorly. Or was that a different time?
No, but
I think that might have been a different time.
That was a different time. It was.
Yeah.
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 It's all mingling into one now. No, we weren't sick when you were in.
No, because I got some weird infection in Cambodia at one stage, and it travelled with me all the way to Mexico. Not a contagious thing, an intestinal thing, but it was pretty horrendous. And that was another reason why we didn't film so much.
Yes.
There's some stories there, I can tell you. But I won't.
No.
Cheers, I'm over to my cold tea now.
You finished your beer. So Mary says, strange weather in LA. Usually it's colder here this time of year. We didn't have winter and I'm not happy about it.
That is very odd. I thought 84 was quite high for January. It seems very high. I'd expect it to be a lot lower than that in January. But you've still got February to come, and that can turn cooler.
Yes,
So let's see how that goes.
Now
for
experience winter time in the northern hemisphere is February,
Yeah, it
March.
tends to be. I think you're not going to really hit the solid warm weather until sort of late March. But I could be wrong. 55 people in. Hit the thumbs up for.
Oh, come on, I've only got 28 thumbs up, guys.
Oh, she won't sleep tonight.
I know.
I know. I'll have to put up with her sobbing into her pillow. So hit the thumbs up if you can. So travelling this year, travelling during the lockdown, I'm loath to sort of say to everyone, just you do as you want, because I know people get upset by this, but you know, live your life. That's all I'm saying. Is live your life. And don't watch TV, don't watch any news, don't listen to any mainstream radio stations, and you will find if you can do that for a week, if you can stop watching any public news or any radio station whatsoever, and don't go hunting for it on YouTube for that matter.
To be honest, we've only really dipped into it because I need to keep an eye on what's changing with regard to restrictions and things like that. I don't want to get caught out.
Just a minute.
I'm just saying why we've been dipping into it.
You're going to have a fight in a minute. And you will find after a week that you will change. Your whole demeanour will change. If you can do it for 2 weeks, you'll find even more so. If you just get away from it, get away from being told how bad everything is and how bad the world is and how dreadful everybody is. If you can get away from that, you will find yourself a new character. And if you wonder why Michelle and I are the way we are, it's because we don't take any notes. We don't listen to it. People sometimes say to me, "Oh, so and so is, being voted in as president." I say, really? I have no idea. I do. I don't miss major news stories, but I don't go looking for them, and I certainly don't find that they bring any happiness to my life whatsoever.
So Mary Cat says it's been hot for weeks already.
In where?
In LA.
Oh, okay.
Pablo says, I give you another thumbs up, but I only have one thumb.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
And Goon Love says, looking forward to the Mexico uploads.
Mexico. I'm going to have to brush up on my Spanish. My Spanish is rusty.
Gracie Kitty says, Pacific Crest Trail, hit that. And John says, good idea, they already have the gear.
We do. We're going to be sending some of our gear back, but not straight away. I might leave it here with Rick and see if we end up needing to do another walk. We had planned this year. Last year we planned to do the Camino de Santiago. That went pear-shaped, so we walked John O'Groats to Land's End. This year we had planned to do some more touring around Japan. I'm just letting you know this is what was planned this year, to do some hiking or something similar to that in Japan. We'd also planned to do some more trips across on some more train journeys this year as well. We'll see.
Charlie's girl 12 has come to Montana. Well, we will, once we're allowed to go to these places, we will be coming to these places.
We can't go to everywhere.
No, we can't.
Stop saying to everybody we will.
Well, we might.
We might. I'd love to go to Montana, particularly maybe in the summertime or the late summer or maybe early spring. Montana would be beautiful.
Gordon says defund the BBC. You're getting political again?
I'd like to see something a little bit like an independent TV station funded by people. I'd like to see some of that money. I looked up not that long ago that how much money went into companies like the BBC, and it's many billions of dollars that they receive every year. And I wondered if that amount of money went into a completely independent television company who were absolutely independent and didn't have an agenda, how wonderful it could be. They could produce some great shows and some dramas and things. But yes, we do have a weird dystopia going on, Gordon. Anyway, we'll talk about it another time. How long are we going on? I'm going to
68 minutes.
I'm going to wrap up very shortly. We will do another live stream, and I will get Rick to come in and say hello to you all before we leave. Can't promise that.
No.
Because the days are flying past.
We've not got so many days. What come round as he's saying goodbye.
So I've got some editing to do. I've had a beer now, so I won't edit now. I'll do some more editing maybe in an hour or so if I feel a bit fresher. I've got some of the edits we've done to put up ready for you next week, and I've got more edits to do. So while I've got you here, do
While
you
you're
want
watching.
to see the John O'Groats? Because the John O'Groats Land's End Walk, because I was kind of the opinion that probably everyone was over it and didn't want to see it anymore. And you know, sometimes my judgment is not right, because as I say, my sister called me in today and said, "Oh, when are you putting it up? She wants to see it." So I thought, "Oh, maybe people do want to see it." So it does actually spur me on a little bit to know that anybody really wants to see it. I'm not just asking to sort of like, you know, to placate me and say yes, but do you want to see the film that we edited?
Well, that you're editing.
I'm editing.
That
Well,
is
I've
different.
done 3
You have
episodes.
done. You've done 3, and we're hoping they're
There
going to start
she
going
is,
up on
Mona,
Monday.
there she
Yeah,
is.
I am here.
Are we going to Canada, Commonwealth, and around Commonwealth of around 54 countries? Are you going to Canada, the Commonwealth of around 54 countries? Gracie, did I misunderstand that? I'd love to go to Canada. I'd love to go to Canada. I was just watching.
So Pablo's asking if you're still vlogging with the same setup, because he was watching what you were vlogging with back then.
No. Actually,
Still have that.
I don't know what I was vlogging with on the day, Pablo. Probably would have changed. I'm actually trying, Pablo.
So
I'm going to be trying the new GoPro 9. I'm going to be giving this a go. So see how that goes. I'm not 100% convinced by it, but I'm liking quite a lot of what it does. So that's what's going with me to Mexico, and we'll see how it goes.
So Monica said yes, she'd like to
Watch
see
this
it, and
space.
Mona said love to see the full journey. Arthur says
Arthur's got the 9
the
too.
9, and Goon Love says catch up soon.
Yeah, it's a new one to me, Arthur.
The horizon leveling is great. That's
Yes,
what you like, isn't
that's
it?
what I'm liking about it more than anything else. The fact that it'll keep my picture level when I tend to quite often go a little bit
Well, I
squiffy.
might be able to use it because I can never get it
No,
straight.
Michelle will be able to do it. She's always drunk as a skunk, wobbling all over the place. So, so Mona'd love to see them. Monica'd love to see them. Anyone else want to just let me know? And I don't mind if you say no, you're not really
interested.
bothered. But there's so many places we want to go. But the problem this year is, where can we go? You know, we were even flying to Mexico was a problem for us because the USA wouldn't let people fly in from the United Kingdom. They literally won't let you land and transit. So we had to find a way of flying directly to Mexico without any stops. It's been hard. You know, it's been hard to find a reasonably priced air ticket that will get us the solutions that we needed. Normally you could just jump on a plane if it had to stop off in here and there, and you could go almost anywhere you want. It's a funny old world.
It is.
Still very odd, but we're swimming against the current, but we're swimming well.
The Slim Jim said yes, nice series of your walk, be good. And Nigel said yes, I want to see all your great footage you kept telling us about.
Well, it better be good then, hasn't it, Nigel?
I'm enjoying it, the bits that he's been doing.
Michelle's watching it and she says it's good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think it'll make a good series.
Yeah,
And
I
then
think so.
we'll mix it up with other
It's a
things.
lot of video. Oh, it's a mammoth. If I were to put it in front of you now, you'd be saying, "God, dear, how are you going to deal with that?" It's like a mountain of video.
It is.
Anyway, from Michelle and I here in the UK, maybe one more time,
One more
if
might
we
squeeze
have,
one in.
and if I can get Rick to jump in with us, we will do. If not, if by any reason I can't, the next time we will see you is through our. What I might do actually is premiere the one on Monday.
Yes.
So I might do a premiere for the first of the John O'Groats videos that I've been working on, and so we can get to chat with you there, and then we'll see you guys on the road. And yes, I will be documenting the Mexico trip. Love to you. Be good. See you all
very soon.
next time. Take care.